China, not America, has just planted its flag on the moon. Think it's a distant scenario? Here's the twist. China's lunar leap could leave the United States watching from Earth, risking economic, technological, and strategic influence for decades to come. While attention locks onto NASA and SpaceX, China is quietly sprinting ahead. Last week, Lanyue, China's new crewed lunar lander, pulled off landing and takeoff tests in a simulated moon environment. This is not science fiction. China's set on landing its first crew by the year 2030. The speed is jaw-dropping. Just days ago, China's Long March 10 rocket, powered by a cluster of 7 engines, roared through its inaugural static fire test, a milestone experts thought was still years away. Former NASA astronauts now warn that China may well beat the United States back to the moon. America's long-held leadership in space is on the line as China's reusable rockets and advanced lunar modules close the gap. If the U.S. falls behind, it could forfeit not just prestige, but access to new resources and influence over the future of space. Let's break down exactly how China's moonshot is unfolding and why the stakes are far higher than most people realize. First, let's see how China's lunar ambitions accelerated so quickly. What did they do differently, and why is the world taking notice now? Most people think of NASA as the moonshot leader, but China's recent milestones may surprise you. Right now, China's moon program is moving at full throttle, and in 2025, it just cleared several of its biggest hurdles yet. This year, China successfully tested its Lanyue lunar lander, the craft designed to deliver Chinese astronauts to the moon before 2030. In a facility specially built to mimic lunar soil, engineers verified the Lanyue's ascent and descent systems. The lander passed crucial landing and takeoff tests, demonstrating real readiness for crewed lunar missions. As reported by Universe magazine and New Scientist, Lanyue means embrace the moon, and in 2025, it truly lived up to its name. But it's not just about the lander. China's next-generation rocket, the Long March 10, also achieved a major milestone, its first successful static fire test, with all 7 engines roaring on the pad on Hainan Island. Xinhua called this a breakthrough for China's crewed lunar program. This rocket will be the backbone of future missions, carrying astronauts and modules to lunar orbit. And unlike earlier generations, the Long March 10 is built with reusability in mind. China is also racing to match the U.S. in reusable launch technology. This year saw the debut of China's first rocket recovery ship, a drone vessel that can autonomously retrieve rocket boosters from the ocean. South China Morning Post noted this is a leap toward cost-effective, rapid turnaround launches, a field once dominated by SpaceX in the United States. Taken together, these technical leaps, tested human-rated landers, powerful new rockets, and advancing reusable tech, put China's lunar program on a fast track. According to India Today, Beijing is not just aiming to land on the moon, but to establish a lasting human presence there. How does this compare to the United States and others? NASA's Artemis program has high ambitions, but delays and politics have repeatedly shifted timetables. While NASA and SpaceX are still targeting the late 2020s, China may now have a realistic chance of putting astronauts back on the lunar surface first. As a former NASA astronaut told Newsweek, China could absolutely beat the U.S. back to the moon. Underestimating China's momentum does not just risk national prestige. It means missing out on the next wave of technology, investment, and global talent that will shape space and Earth for decades to come. But behind these hardware breakthroughs lies a deeper story. To really understand China's lunar ambitions, we need to explore the strategic motivations and what's truly at stake in this 21st century moon race. Blink and you might miss it. While the world watches dramatic rocket launches, a silent race is escalating for control of the moon's future. Miss this contest, and your country risks losing out on the next great leap in global power and prosperity. Why is China so fiercely focused on the moon? And what does the outcome mean for all of us? The stakes are far greater than national pride. Lunar soil holds rare resources like helium-3 and precious metals, and whoever commands these could dominate future energy supplies, manufacturing breakthroughs, and groundbreaking technologies. Yet there's an even sharper edge. The first nation to land and maintain a presence can shape the rules for every mission that follows. This is no mere flag-planting exercise. It's a chance to set the legal and operational playbook for a celestial territory that could become humanity's next economic battleground. China's intentions are unmistakable, and their recent progress is nothing short of stunning. Just days ago, Chinese engineers pulled off their inaugural 7-engine static fire test of the Long March 10 rocket, a massive booster tailored to send astronauts to the moon. Their new lander, Lanyue, which means embrace the moon, has cleared vital landing and takeoff trials, putting them on track to attempt a crewed lunar landing by the year 2030. But they are not stopping there. China is accelerating the development of reusable rocket technology, a move that could tilt the balance of space power. As Defense One reports, China is working on reusable rockets, a strategic leap in space power. These innovations promise to slash the cost of lunar missions, paving the way for permanent moon bases and resource mining that could last for decades. These breakthroughs have caught the attention of American strategists. As one recent analysis cautions, China's ability to close the gap should not be underestimated. For the United States and its allies, falling behind could mean surrendering not just technological edge, but also the authority to shape the rules of lunar access, resource ownership, and even the direction of future deep space exploration. Already, China's Chang'e 6 mission has brought back fresh samples from the moon's far side, an achievement that has unlocked new scientific discoveries about the moon's origins and its hidden geology. Whoever holds these samples also steers the scientific conversation and secures first rights to future research and innovation. The risks are monumental. If the United States and its partners lose momentum now, they risk ceding not only the technological and scientific initiative, but also the legal and economic control over the moon's most lucrative territories. The lunar surface could soon become the fiercest arena in the next chapter of global competition. But what exactly is China doing differently, and how have they pulled ahead so quickly? Let's break down the breakthrough technologies and strategies behind their lunar surge. Picture this. The moment a Chinese flag is planted on the lunar surface, the world's power map could start to shift right before your eyes. If China wins the race back to the moon, what you stand to gain or lose isn't just distant science fiction. It could change the opportunities and freedoms you have here on Earth. China's lunar program is moving at a breakneck pace. With their first major test of the Lanyue crewed lunar lander now complete, and a successful 7-engine static fire for the Long March 10 rocket, China is on track to land astronauts by the year 2030, possibly before any new American crew touches the moon. If that happens, the shockwaves will ripple far beyond the headlines. Now, imagine billions watching live as Chinese astronauts step onto lunar regolith for the first time. Former NASA astronauts say China could absolutely beat the United States back to the moon, and they are pouring resources into making it happen. With reusable rocket technology in the works, China is not just catching up, they are threatening to take the lead. If Beijing gets there first, the stakes skyrocket. This isn't only about national pride. China would be in a position to set the rules for future lunar activity, from mining rare resources to building permanent bases. Whoever builds the first lasting presence can write the laws, control the profits, and potentially lock out rivals or force them to play by new rules. A China-first moon landing could redraw decades of international alliances in a single move. The United States and its partners are pushing the Artemis Accords for lunar cooperation, but a competing China-led system could split the rules of space forever. Smaller countries and private companies might be forced to pick sides, shaping the flow of technology, security, and economic opportunity for a generation. But the consequences won't be limited to the moon. Whoever controls lunar resources could dictate the future of entire industries on Earth, from high-value minerals to next-generation energy. The global balance of technological and economic power, already fragile, could tip overnight, affecting the choices and futures of millions. Yet this future is not yet locked in. The way nations, companies, and even individual innovators respond right now could reshape who wins and who gets left behind in the new moon race. So what will it take for the United States and the rest of the world to respond? Let's break down the options and the risks ahead. This isn't just a high-stakes show for governments. There are real opportunities and risks for anyone invested in science, technology, or the future of global power. The race to the moon might seem distant, but it's set to reshape who leads in innovation, who controls new markets, and who gets to write the rules for the next era in space and beyond. Let's break down what this means for you. China's successful static fire test of a 7-engine moon rocket and the flawless trial of its Lanyue crewed lunar lander mean more than just headlines. These breakthroughs bring China closer than ever to landing astronauts on the moon before the year 2030, and whoever gets there first could control not just new territory, but entire industries. China's push for reusable rockets isn't just about prestige. According to Defense One, the development of new rocket recovery technology points to much lower launch costs, opening up space for private companies, startups, and researchers around the world. As one South China Morning Post report put it, China's new recovery ships are a direct challenge to SpaceX's former monopoly. This means space is rapidly becoming more accessible, and commercial opportunities could explode for those prepared to move fast. But it's not only about rockets. Recent discoveries from China's lunar sample missions, reported by CGTN, have already triggered waves of fresh research. Finding new types of lunar material could spark booms in advanced manufacturing, mining, and even medicine. If you're in a STEM field or thinking about your next big move, these breakthroughs signal dramatic growth areas for the next decade. Here's the flip side. If you underestimate this new space dynamic, you could miss out on business, research, or career opportunities that will define the next generation. Governments are staking claims, yes, but so are investors, universities, and entrepreneurs in every country. The levers of influence are shifting fast, and those who understand what's happening now will be in the best position to act. So, in the end, what's at stake isn't just who lands on the moon, it's who shapes the future we'll all live in. But with so much changing so quickly, how do you actually seize these opportunities or guard against the risks? Let's look at some practical steps and what you can do right now. Blink and you might miss the next giant leap in space. Are you ready for a world where China leads on the moon? The stakes are enormous. Whoever claims the lunar frontier first will shape science, seize economic treasures, and write the rules for a new era. China is no longer catching up, it's charging ahead. In just the past week, the Lanyue lunar lander nailed landing and takeoff tests in a cutting-edge simulator, proving its ability to deliver astronauts safely to and from the moon. Meanwhile, the Long March 10 rocket, powered by a formidable 7-engine core, aced its inaugural static fire, unlocking the thrust to launch crewed missions beyond Earth's atmosphere. Behind closed doors, China is racing to master reusable rockets and rolling out its first rocket recovery ships, narrowing the gap with American titans like SpaceX. Even a former NASA astronaut has warned, China could absolutely beat the United States back to the moon, and Beijing is pushing hard to land by the year 2030. This is about far more than planting flags. The winner will control lunar science, reap economic windfalls, and set the tone for global cooperation or competition. China's advance is not just about pride. It's a seismic shift in technology, trade, and the alliances shaping our world. Staying informed is your edge. As China tests rockets, landers, and recovery fleets, keep watching the skies. The next act in our cosmic story could be told in Mandarin, and those paying attention will be first to grasp what's at stake. The race is accelerating, and the outcome could define a generation. In the coming months, new breakthroughs may change everything.